Ladies and gentlemen, good evening to all of you. Welcome back to the 5-day International Faculty Development Program hosted by Joseph's Academy of Soft Skills, St. Joseph's College, Trichy. Let's begin the session with a short prayer. Dear God, source of wisdom, we thank you for the excellent conduct of the inauguration yesterday. We also pray for today. Bless this event and guide us all in this pursuit of knowledge. I would like to give you a short recap. Yesterday, Reverend Father Aurakesami Xavier Este, the principal of our college, inaugurated the faculty development program and offered his blessings and wishes. The resource person for the day, Dr. A. Jayakar Chalaraj, Managing Director, IMPART, highlighted the importance of soft skills and enlightened us on how to approach soft skills professionally. Around 223 participants attended the session. So we request the participants to render your continued support throughout the sessions. To begin with, may I now request Dr. D. Ravindran, Associate Professor, Department of Computer Science, St. Joseph's College, Trichy, to introduce the resource person for the day, Mr. DAZIL BENNIS Fernandez. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Primrose. So good evening to each and every one of you who have gathered here in this online platform. A teacher introducing one of his or her students would give both of them, the teacher as well as the student, immense joy. As a teacher, I am in that joyful mood now. It's an honor for me to introduce the resource person for today's session. He is an alumnus of this great institution and specifically the Department of Computer Science. He completed his MSc Computer Science way back in 1995 and also added so many professional certifications. To name a few, that is 7 Habits of Highly Effective People Signature Facilitator, Situational Leadership Facilitator, Master NLP Practitioner, People Profile Analysis User, Certified Behavioral Interviewing Skills Coach, and so on. So to say something about his professional skills, he has got 20 years of experience in the area of innovation management, strategic thinking, leadership development, performance coaching, learning consulting, HR strategy design, public speaking, and content development. So to name few of his clients, it's Mars International India Private Limited, Hexagon Capability Center, Deloitte Consulting India, and Camcost Engineering. So the resource person is a founder and a principal consultant of Success Enabler, people and organizational capability consulting firm. He is involved with behavioral learning interventions, CHRO on call, employee engagement strategy and consultation, L&D strategy, design, deployment, evaluation. So to sum it all, the resource person is an accomplished HR professional, enabling people and organizations to build and nurture key behavioral capabilities for personal and business growth. He is none other than the resource person for today, performance transformation strategist, Mr. DAZIL BENNIS Fernandez. So a great pleasure in inviting him to deliver a talk on From Defining to Achieving Goals, how to in a Vuca world. That's volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. It's over to you, Mr. DAZIL.
Thank you, Professor, for that rather very interesting and detailed introduction. I'm very thankful to all of you, the Reverend Father Principal, Vice Principal, Dr. Balaya and Dr. Ravindran for having invited me. It's a pleasure that I'm back again for this jazz intervention. It was a great time when I was there way back in 2018. And it's a wonderful time that we are here. And I'm looking forward to interact with as many people as I can in the next 90 minutes or so that we have. So I was part of the discussion yesterday, and I was fascinated by certain beautiful thoughts and ideas that were shared by Dr. Jaikar. Some very important tips that he had shared. One of the things that I still remember, he was talking about the choice chip that we all have in our brain. So it was great learning today, and I'm here today to engage you all in a discussion, not in just a one-sided affair. So feel free to raise your hands and ask questions, and maybe we'll have questions at the end. But in between, we will try level best to keep it as interactive and as interesting as possible. I don't want to do any more introduction of myself. Dr. Ravindran has been more than magnanimous to have spoken a lot about me, so I'll leave that for now, and we'll get going with what we are going to discuss. I'll have my screen on. Dr. Vimal, are you going to put the deck up, or can I share it?
So please go ahead, sir.
Okay. I'm just about getting that up. So here it is, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, let me thank all of you for taking time out for this discussion. And I can assure you this is a discussion that is going to help not only you, but is going to be of immense value to the students that you are mentoring. My objective is something not only to talk to you about a particular concept, but to also to give you that insight with which you can go and enable the thousands of people on whom you're making a difference every day. So, I have a very quick professional story I want to share. In the last few years, I've been a consultant to a few organizations in the field of human strategy, people capability development, and in the process of facilitating a lot of interventions and helping organizations in their HR strategy, I came across a request from a few organizations frequently. And they said that, we want support from the industry and industry experts on helping employees with a very specific soft skill. It took time for them to actually explain what they wanted. So they were talking about, we want employees to understand how to manage pressure. We want employees to understand how to manage difficulties or challenges from customers and clients. And they were sharing a lot of such ideas. And after that, what I did, I started going back to them and asking and probing more. And what I realized is that they had identified a very significant challenge that professionals are facing today in the industry, which is their ability to convert their goals into achievements. It could be a personal goal, it could be a business goal, it could be a professional goal. They're finding it difficult to go ahead and find ways and means to reach that goal whenever they are confronted with challenges and difficulties. So the organizations wanted us, they came to us and said, can you put together a framework? Can you share with us, something that can help us do something about this? So I find Mr. Suresh has raised his hand. If you want to say something, Suresh, you can say, but otherwise you can put it on the chat window if you wish to. So the idea was they said that we'd like your help in kind of helping our folks understand how to convert their goals into achievements, because the organization gives them goals. The managers give people goals. So we worked with them for about 1.5 years. We did a lot of research. We spoke to different organizations. We spoke to different experts across the industry. We referred a lot of literature. And then we came up with a method. We found a very I won't say foolproof, but a very robust method, which we found that experts were using, successful people were using, a model that they were using, a practice that they were using, which was giving them higher success rate when it comes to achieving their goals. So I thought, let me share this model with all of you. Now the question is, what's in it for me? All of you will be thinking, as professors and PhD scholars, what's in it for us from this program, from this 90 minutes? That will be a question that you might have in mind. And I thought, let me answer that for you, because if we can answer that question effectively in the beginning, you will have better reasons to listen to me, right? So what's in it for me? What's in it for you? For all the, I'm assuming 170 or 180, 200 people who are in this particular session. What's in it for you to have this discussion with me? How can it benefit you as a professor, as a lecturer, as a learning consultant? And how can it possibly benefit somebody else? So the YFM factor, or what's in it for me, is something that I'm putting it here for you. So the first thing that is going to be of benefit, I suppose, at the end of this discussion is, you will get to understand a powerful practice that can help you with a method to convert goals into achievements. Now, this is not some theoretical practice from a book. This is coming out of a research and work I have done, and me and my team has done with a lot of clients. Okay, so this is something that we've seen that's presently happening in the industry. How people are actually going about achieving goals despite various issues in the organization. So the first thing is, you're going to understand this. The second most important thing is, while you're having this discussion with me, you will also learn how to explain this concept to your students. That's another benefit that you're going to have after this discussion. The next benefit is, you will be able to impart this knowledge to your students for a very important reason, my dear friends, which is to make them future ready. I'm sure as professors and lecturers, you will appreciate the fact that our roles as teachers doesn't end with just teaching a subject or a concept. Our role as professors and teachers is to ensure that we make the students future ready. The biggest challenge today that students are facing is that not with the subjects and not with the scores. They're able to score well, they're able to clear all the exams. But there's a big gap when they come into the industry. I have been training a lot of students. We have been doing a lot of projects from campus to corporate, from skill to hire. We've been doing hire to skill. We've been doing a lot of programs, and we found there's a lot of gap when it comes to various soft skills. And the concept of soft skills or soft skills per se has transformed. Okay, 15 years back, people were saying soft skills means the ability to speak in English and be able to behave well. Now it's not like that. I mean, and by the way, that's not the definition of soft skills at all. Soft skills is not about English. You can use any language. It's about how do you relate to another human being in any given situation. So in this program, through this program or through this 90 minutes, each of you, 200 people, you are going to get a chance. You're going to have the opportunity to impart this knowledge. Through this, you will get an opportunity to impart this to your students to make them future ready. Just imagine. They will all come back and thank you for sharing this model with them. Because what you're doing is you are giving them a key to a bigger challenge that they will face when they go and step out in the organizations. Right? And where did we get these concepts from? We went to the organization, we saw the problems having, and we got it from there. We didn't pick it up from a book. All right, so that's the advantage. And very importantly, my objective is to help you, each of you, build your reputation, not just as a teacher. To be able to develop your soft skill, your ability to understand this model so that people don't look up at you as just a teacher. They will look up to you as a mentor. Because when you mentor them, You make them better human beings. And that is what teachers are supposed to do, as all of you know. So let us get straight into this and understand what is this framework, which if I use, which if anybody uses, can convert their goals to achievements. It could be a personal goal. It could be a professional goal. It could be a business goal. It could be a health goal. It could be a relationship goal. If we make goals in our lives, we need to understand that we'll have to have the resilience to manage all the challenges that might come in the way of achieving the goal. There are many examples, as all of you know, of people who have achieved their goals. We know about the challenges that they face and how they achieve. I mean, in terms of what Elon Musk, the kind of challenges he's facing, in terms of the challenges Dr. Abdul Kalam, one of our, proud products of St. Joseph's College, the kind of challenges he faced. If you see something in common, what did all these people do in order to achieve their goal, convert their goals into achievements? You will see that they followed a very disciplined approach. So what we have done is we've done a lot of research with organizations, with people, with experts, and then brought all of this together in the form of this particular model. Okay. All right. Somebody is having fun doing a little bit of a scribbling on the screen. Don't worry. Enjoy yourself. Don't scribble much. We will continue with the program. Okay. So the first thing to realize, my dear friends, is we will have to be conscious about what kind of a world are we living in. What kind of a world are we living in? So the question that we are talking about is, we are living in a Vuca world. We are living in a Vuca world. Okay. Can somebody on the chat window, if it's possible, can somebody put up, what do you understand by this term VUCA, Vuca? We're all living in a Vuca world. What is Vuca? Can anybody tell me what you understand by that terminology? If people are allowed to unmute and speak, anybody can share what you understand by Vuca. Okay, so JC George has got it right. She says Vuca stands for volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. Brilliant, JC, brilliant. Thank you for bringing that up. So yes, so we are living in a volatile world. We are living in uncertain times. Volatile means things are not the same. I mean, there is a lot of swing. There's a lot of change in, the environment, in terms of people's attitude, in terms of business functions, in terms of organizational decisions. There is uncertainty. We really don't know what's going to happen next. We might make plans to do something, but we really don't know whether our plans will work. There is complexity. There's a lot of difficulty. There are too many people involved, too many processes involved. The world is getting connected. We are all connected. So there's a lot of, yes, Divya, Sujata, brilliant. I can see that you guys have really got the thing. Father Amal says C stands for confused. Maybe yes, Father Amal. There is a lot of confusion. I agree. Yeah, there is a lot of confusion actually. One of the confusion is, if we wear a mask and step out, is it sufficient that we will be shielded from corona? Also, we are confused. So yes, you may say that C stands for confused. Yes, I see some good answers from many people who have answered. Dr. Sujata has also shared some answers. Yes, absolutely. Dr. Kanchana Devi, yes, thank you very much. So, yes, we are living in a volatile, uncertain, complex, and we are living in an ambiguous world. There is no clarity. I mean, nobody comes to you with things in a platter and say, this is what I want. There were times when you ask somebody, what is your ambition? And they're able to clearly say what their ambition is, right? But today, they're not able to clearly say what they actually want to do, because the reason is things are so volatile. Somebody has an ambition to become a doctor at the age of 12 or 13. And by the time he reaches 20 or 21, things have changed. Maybe medicine has evolved. So he really doesn't know whether his ambitions will work. So things are very ambiguous. We don't have answers to everything. We might be professors in science. where science can give us a lot of answers, but when it comes to the evolving nature of human behavior, things are very ambiguous. So we are living in a ambiguous, volatile, complex, and uncertain world. Now, the biggest question is, in this world, what is that we can do to ensure that our chances of achieving our goals becomes more effective? Let me tell you, it is not easy. The model that I'm sharing is not an easier model or a shortcut. But this is a model that when we spoke and interacted with the organizations, we did work for them. We interacted with many leaders across the industry. We read a lot of literature and we found common thing. This is what great people do. This is what great people did. This is what great people are doing. And this is what great people will keep doing. Is to do three things to convert a goal into an achievement. From point A to point B, I want to achieve this. From this to this, what is the thing that you do in between? In a world, in a Vuca world, the most important thing is in a Vuca world, in a world where we really don't know what's going to happen. So any goal that you set out to achieve, you will need to be supported by three pillars, my dear friends, please remember. And please get this reiterated with your students. Any goal that they set out to achieve, it needs to be supported by three pillars. It could have many pillars, but these three pillars are compulsory. If these three pillars are not there, it's probably not going to work. And these pillars are just not add-ons. They give the person the much needed drive and energy to pursue your goal without losing hope and confidence. As you can see, there are three pillars or three strong practices that one might need to follow in order to convert their goals into actions. They need to do three things. It's a culmination of these three things, which is cleansing and redefining. We'll see step by step as to how we do this. And I will take one example and show you how it is done. And we will also do an activity wherein you will probably try and write your goal and see how you can apply these three steps to convert it to an achievement. So at the end of this program, you will have a blueprint with you, an SOP of how you can go about converting your own personal goal into an achievement. If we can do that, it will be a great thing. So cleansing and redefining, identifying key influences, and nurturing key emotions. These are three must-do practices that one must hold on to while they define goals and look to start working on them and achieving them. I'll take a pause for 30 seconds and I'll give an opportunity. If any questions are there, please feel free to ask before I proceed. Yeah, I could also see a message from Dr. Meera Rajiv, who also mentioned B is for virtual. Yes, Dr. Meera, B is definitely for virtual, but the context that we're talking about is in terms of, challenges and volatility. But I agree, yes, we are also living in a virtual world, so there's a lot of interconnectivity. Yeah, absolutely. But the context that we're talking about is Vuca in terms of volatility. So any questions at this stage, feel free to ask me. So I think you're all good to go. Okay, so then what we'll do is we will move to the next stage. Great. So it could be any goal that I have, a health goal. I might want to lose weight, I might want to gain weight, or might want to overcome a disease. I could have a financial goal. I want to ensure by the end of 10 years, I need to have so much of savings, I need to have so much of property, whatever. It could be a career goal. It could be a target, a business goal in an organization for an individual. It could be an academic goal for a student. It could be a goal for a sportsman. There are three things that great people do and effective people do. And at the end of this program, I'm not saying that we will want to become great people. We will become effective people, right? By practicing these three steps when we go about achieving our goals. So what it is, the first one. The first thing that we need to do when we go about achieving our goals is a very, very critical step. And that's the reason why I put it in red, because not because that's my obvious choice. It's because I wanted to ensure that we give utmost importance to this. This starting is very important. In my experience as a transformational coach, as a personal coach for senior leaders in organizations, I found that people had great enthusiasm in the beginning when they start pursuing a goal, but slowly the enthusiasm dies down. The enthusiasm cripples down. It kind of diminishes as time goes by. And that is when research and our findings identified that we need to cleanse and redefine the goal. You need to cleanse and redefine. So the question is, what is this cleansing and redefining process? How do we do this? How do I cleanse or redefine a goal? So please remember this, there are three things that you need to do in order to cleanse a goal. I will show you an example. When you define a goal and when you write it down, when you read it, the goal has to appeal to your heart. It has to make an emotional connect with you. When you read it every time, you should feel a surge of emotions. You should feel those good emotions, those good dopamine coming into your bloodstream and making you feel energized. Every time you read that. I have a practice of putting my personal goal on my wall in my room. And every time I'm sitting and I'm reading something and I just look up, my eyes fall there. And when I look at that, I get rejuvenated. When I'm running short of ideas or problems, that gives me the way to, pick it up. So I need to redefine my goal to make it appealing to my heart. It should touch me emotionally. Second, the goal should push me to take an action. It should be defined in such a way, it should be drafted in such a way that it should be action oriented. It should give me a reason to start doing something. It can't be a goal which is somewhere there and I start looking at it, oh, it's there. Okay, I'll work on it sometime tomorrow. And then tomorrow becomes Thursday and Thursday becomes Friday and Friday becomes Sunday. And they think, oh, it's a weekend, so I'll start doing it on a Monday. And then Monday comes, I have a client call or I'm asked to fly to Canada for some work. And then one of my clients call me again from Munich and say, hey, DAZIL, can you just stop over here for a few days? We have some work. And I forget my goal. No. Whatever be my schedule in life, if I have a goal, if it's emotionally connected to me, it should also be drafted in such a way I should allocate time every day, come what may, in order to take some action to take me to that goal. And in the process of cleansing and redefining, I need to also redefine my goal to ensure that it benefits others. My dear friends, in my personal experience as a learner, and I always say that I also learn every day. So the side of me as a student will not go away. It will go with me to my coffin. Because if I lose the capability to be a student, I lose the capability to be a learner, then I will definitely lose the capability to be a teacher. Now, what I'm saying now is the fact that in my experience, when I started making goals in the earlier stages of my career, I used to define a goal and say that this is what I want. And over a period of time, I realized that, oh, this goal is good. I'm achieving it, maybe not achieving it 60, 70%. And then we started finding answers to reasons why people don't achieve their goals. And we started looking at all the people who have been great people who have started practicing. And then there was one cusp of my career in my life wherein I was at that stage of moving from a middle management to a senior management. So I had about a window of about 18 months to prove myself to an organization that I can be at a level of taking strategic decisions. So I had set that as a goal. And then during that process is when I learned one very important thing, my dear friends, which is you cannot have a goal which only benefits you. You might be surprised. Yes. You cannot have a goal which benefits only you. The reason is, Stephen Covey in his book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, says we need to move from a level of dependence to independence to interdependence. We are living in an interdependent society. We're not living in an independent society. If you think about growing individually stronger, chances of success is less. But if you have a goal which will benefit you, but at the same time have some benefit from somebody else, that is what will be a more meaningful goal. So the first thing that anybody who wants to achieve a particular goal should do is should cleanse and redefine it. And to cleanse and redefine a goal, somebody has to do these 3 things. Nandini raised her hand. Nandini, do you want to ask me any question? If Dr. Vimal can unmute Nandini and allow her to ask a question. Nandini raised her hand. Yes, Nandini? Or maybe you just said a hi. That's absolutely fine. Kumar raised hand. Yes, Dr. Meera Rajiv Kumar raised a hand. Okay, Dr. Meera, feel free to ask any question you might have. Okay, I can see something in the chat window. Dr. Vimal says, please unmute yourself. Yes, if you want to ask a question, unmute yourself and then go back to mute, so that we all are sitting in a very vulnerable locations, right? We have the sound of vehicles going outside, or children shouting, or pets yelling. So if you have a question, unmute, ask a question, and then go back to mute. Fair enough, no worries. So we'll still have time for questions at the end, but feel free to ask me any question. Yeah. So the first thing that anybody should do when you're in the journey of defining a goal and reaching it is to cleanse and redefine it. And how do you cleanse and redefine it is to do these 3 things. Check whether it appeals to your heart. Does it make you to take action, and can it benefit others? Let me show you a beautiful example. So here is an example.
Sir, sorry, I was just allowed to unmute now.
Sure. Yes.
Sorry to interrupt, sir. Can I just have the previous slide so that I can clarify the doubt when you said about benefiting others?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's about redefining our goals, and then how, as you said, it should benefit others.
Yes.
Right? But then what happens if there is no reciprocation from the other end also?
Beautiful
so
question.
It's only, it's a one-way process, and that,
yes,
and there is no two-way process.
Absolutely.
So how do you think you can redefine it if that's a situation?
Absolutely. It's a beautiful question. It's a beautiful question. And these are one of the challenges that we will face when we move ahead in terms of achieving our goals, because the people with whom we want it to be mutually benefiting might not reciprocate it. Right. So in the process of this, there is a second step called identifying key influencers. And here is where you will realize how key influencers will help you in addressing the challenge. But to give you a very short answer to that beautiful question, if you want others to reciprocate that, your goal has to be convincing enough to yourself, number 1. And number 2 is that you need to identify those key influencers in your life with whom you share a relationship. You can't define a goal, a goal which could be mutually beneficial to somebody who does not share a connect with you. So that's why on the second step, I will show you what you do in terms of identifying those key influencers. So your question is very pertinent. I've given you a partial answer. The full answer will come at the next stage.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Beautiful question. Yes. So what do we do? How do we practically apply this approach of cleansing and redefining? Let me show you an example. So here is a very simple example. DAZIL had a goal of releasing a book by September 2021. So it's DAZIL, or Dr. Meera or Dr. Nandini or whoever it is. Say, for example, we want to write a book and release it by 2021. So my goal is September 2021, I want to release a book. So I look at this goal statement which says, I would like to author a book and release it by September 2021. Now my model says, the first thing when you have a goal is to look at the goal and cleanse and redefine it using the 3 filters. The first filter is, does it appeal to your heart? Does it push you to take action? Second, can it benefit others? Look at this statement. Can somebody unmute yourself and tell me which one of the conditions does this statement, this goal statement, meet? Does it meet any of these three conditions? When you read this goal, does it appeal to your heart? I don't know. Does it push me to take action? Well, maybe not. Is it like, can it benefit others? It doesn't have any clarity on how it could benefit others. So what I do is that I'm going to redefine and cleanse it. So when I redefine and cleanse it from just one simple statement, I redefine it saying this September 2021, my hard work and achievements of the last 20 years will come out in the form of a book. So I look at it now and think, okay, it's better now. Does it appeal to my heart? This September 2021, my hard work and achievements of the last 20 years will come out in the form of a book. So I says, yes, it does appeal to my heart, of course, because this book is about my hard work and my achievements. So it has a lot of my hard work of 20 years, has a lot of my ups and downs in life and my emotions attached to it. So yes, it does appeal to my heart. Does it push me to take action? Maybe, maybe not sure. Does the goal talk about benefiting others? Well, not sure again. So again, I redefine and cleanse the goal. I do one more iteration. I use the word iteration because I come from an IT background and we all use the word iterate. Please iterate your thoughts. Please iterate your goal definition. And I see what I do is that when I come to the next stage, I say that, let me just get this screen straighter a little bit. Yes. So I say that by September 2021, the world must witness the launch of my book, a testimony of my hard work and determination. Well, now when I look at it, does it appeal to my heart? Yes. Does it push me to take action? Yes, because it says the world must witness. So I have already created a reason for me to take action, which is the world is waiting for me to release my book. An inspiring thing that the world is waiting. I can't disappoint them because if I don't release the book, I'm going to disappoint myself. I'm going to disappoint my well-wishers. And then, of course, it does appeal to my heart because this book is about a testimony of my hard work and determination. Can it benefit others? Still, it's not absolutely out there. So I will once more redefine it and cleanse it. And I will say that come September 2021, I would like to hand over the formula of succeeding in tough times to the working fraternity in the form of a book that's based on my hard work and life experiences. So here I'm ensuring that it's appealing to my heart. I'm pushed to take an action, and it is also benefiting others. So what I've done is, I've done a very, very important step is when I defined my goal, I've redefined and cleansed it. That is in line with the three important things that all should do. So my dear friends, what I want you to do, I want you to do an activity now. We'll do this and you can do this individually. And if you want, you can share what you've done. Please take a sheet of white paper, a clean sheet of paper or a book or something that you have, a notepad or a pen. And please take 3 minutes and write down a goal that you have set for yourself. It could be a personal goal or a professional goal. Please write down that goal, whatever comes to your mind. Okay. Don't worry about making the redefining cleansing. First, just write down the goal that you have in mind for the year 2021 or maybe for 2022. Right. Take 3 minutes. We'll just give it 3 minutes, and so that all of you can take your book and write it. Please do that. In the meanwhile, if somebody has any questions, you can feel free to ask. So take a piece of paper and a pen, and then write down your goal for this year or for the coming year. Appealing to heart can only reach to others. Yes, it can reach to others. Dr. Meera, very well said. I think if it can appeal to my heart, I will be strong enough to convince others of what my goal is. So it's a two-way approach. Yes, Parita Begum, good evening. Welcome to the session. Good responses. We had good responses. Dr. Joy had shared a response. Wonderful. Thank you, Dr. Joy, for putting your responses forward. So yes, write down your personal goal in a piece of paper. If you have written it down, what I want you to do is check if it meets the 3 guidelines of cleansing and redefining, which is, does it appeal to your heart? Does it push you to take action? And when you read it, can you get clarity on how it will benefit others? So now use these 3 filters, cleanse and redefine your goal at least a couple of times. Take a couple of minutes, and I would invite anybody, one of you, to come forward, unmute yourself, and first tell me what was the first goal you wrote, and then how did you cleanse and redefine it, so that we'll get an experience of how this is working. So we'll wait for a couple of minutes, and then I'll invite anybody who wants to come forward and tell me how they have redefined it using these 3 filters. The moment you raise your hand, Dr. Vimal will unmute you to use the mic. So please raise your hand if you want to share how did you apply this step. It's going to be interesting. At the end of this session, you will have an inspirational goal with you, the blueprint of how you're going to achieve your goal. Yes, Sivakama Sundari has raised her hand. Yes, Sivakama Sundari, please go ahead.
To be a successful businesswoman.
Okay, that was your main first goal. Okay. How did you cleanse it and redefine it? Does it appeal to your heart?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can you apply the 3 steps and cleanse it and redefine it, Sivagami?
Sir, not clear, sir.
No problem. Wonderful, but good try. At least you wrote your first goal. Just try to redefine it. Konjo redefine panna paranga. Just try to cleanse it so that it appeals to your heart, so that it pushes you to take action.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Give it a try. Wonderful. Very nice. Okay. Somebody else also raised the hand.
Yes. Good evening, sir.
Yes. Who's that?
Yes. I would like to be a counselor of adolescents in the coming years.
Beautiful. You would like to be a counselor of adolescents in the coming years. So
Yes,
which
sir.
means that I can see that there is a benefit to somebody, which is adolescent children.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Wonderful.
Yes.
It has a benefit. Does it appeal to your heart?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. Does it push you to take action?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Maybe, I don't know if you're convinced, but I would say that, try to give it a more defined timeline. You said coming years might not push you to take action, but you would say that I'm just sharing my opinion and saying that I will redefine your goal and say that I would like to be an established adolescent counselor by February 2022.
Yes, sir. Okay. Very good.
Gives you a
Excellent,
reason
sir.
to take action. Okay, wonderful.
Yes.
We'll give one more chance. We'll ask Jennifer Udaya to come
Thank you,
forward.
sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Jennifer.
Good evening, sir.
Yes.
This is Jennifer from Loyola. I would like to become a motivational speaker by June.
Okay.
So I'm kind of reading certain motivational stories and blogs and books right now, so that I can become someone effective in future.
Very inspiring goal, Jennifer. But look at this. Does this goal appeal to your heart? Always look at the 3 conditions. Does it appeal to your heart?
Yeah, definitely.
Second, does it push you to take action?
Yeah, it pushes, but then I need enough content to become one. So I'm in the process of building it.
Okay. Can it benefit others?
Yes, when I can become a motivational teacher,
Will you?
I mean, motivational speaker, I think I can transform many students.
Brilliant. Will you allow me to be the devil's advocate?
Yeah, please go ahead, sir.
I'm just asking you for the benefit of a discussion.
Yes.
You want to be a motivational speaker.
Yes.
Okay. Who will listen to you? That decision is not with you, right? Can you bring that decision also into your goal? Can you
Yes,
can you redefine your goal so that you will give a reason to people? When somebody reads that, they will find your goal inspiring. Oh, wow, I should look for Jennifer to come out as a motivation. So that is why I'm saying that try to put an effort to see if you can bring that also into the picture. If you want to become a motivational speaker by 2021 December, try to make it a more specific. How will it help any group of people or somebody in the society for the benefit of the youngsters, or the benefit of couples or something like that, so that you're able to bring that factor also in. Wonderful. So thank you very much. I see a lot of people. Dr. Debasmita had raised a hand. Violet Mary had raised a hand. Sendamal Arasu had raised a hand. Thank you very much. For the want of time, I'll give you an opportunity in the next stage. We'll come back to you. And yes, so please remember, guys, when you define a goal, you have to again redefine and cleanse it, so that when you read the goal, it has to appeal to your heart, it has to push you to take action, and it can benefit others. So it comes with practice. You will have to sit, think, do it constantly, and trust me, it won't happen over 90 minutes now, but at least you have the idea of what to do. And I'm always there. My coordinates will be shared later. You can always reach out to me for help. Or of course, some professors will be able to help you as well. Let's move on to the next stage. The next thing that I need to do while I'm in the journey of achieving my goal is I need to identify key influences. This is a second step. Okay. I will try to answer Dr. Meera's question at this stage. So what do I do? How do I identify key influences? Who are influencers? What do you understand by the word influencers? Anybody? Influencers, when I say influencers and in this context, I'm saying it is people who can have a positive impact in my journey of achieving my goals. If I want to have a health goal, I might want to have some influencers who can positively impact me. Maybe I want my spouse to support me in my health goal. I will support her in her health goal, right? Okay, so influencers are people who can play a defining role in your journey while you're achieving a goal. We need to be interdependent. We need not be selfish to say that I will work on my goal. I don't want anybody's help. No, we have to invite people into our house. We are living in an interdependent society. You might say, Dr. Simi Varghese says, opinion leaders. Yes. Well-wishers. Absolutely, Sujata. So you need to find out somebody who has that guts to come and tell you, call a spade a spade. Violet, yes, inspires you. We'll look at it. So what are the qualities that an influencer need to have? You need to find influencers who will help you in your goal. So then I need to do two things. Identifying influencers. One, you need to know when you choose an influencer, the influencer has to have certain qualities. And the second thing you need to do is you need to make a partnership with that influencer. Sumit Dabi says, role model, I completely agree. Family who supports us, Wahab Sheikh, Dishara says, motivators, yes. But what are the qualities of an influencer? I'm going to show you now. And this is what we had learned through our experience. So the qualities of your influencer, there are three qualities your influencer must have. Your influencer, the person who you choose, must be a good critique of you. This person must have the leeway, the freedom, and the right rapport and relationship to critique you anytime. He or she should be a good critique of you, and you should be appreciative of that. You can't have somebody who will be just somebody who will always say, yes, yes, you're doing good. No, you want somebody to also probably point out and tell you if you're doing something wrong or if you're not in the right direction. That's the first quality of identifying an influencer. The second thing is you need to have, all of us require a counselor in life, my dear friends. I was talking to, I was having a heated debate recently, with one of my friends, a very, healthy debate in terms of, counselors are required only for people who have problems. So I always differ from this. I said, all of us require counselors. There is nobody in this world who doesn't require a counselor. All of us require counselors at all stages of our life. We need somebody else to show us the mirror and tell us what we are doing. We are not complete human beings. Whatever be the capabilities, the PhDs and the certifications and the experiences that DAZIL might have, or whatever anybody has, we all need counselors in our life. We need people who can sit, show us the mirror and tell us that this is what you're doing. So the second quality of your key influencer is that person should be a good counselor. So when you choose a key influencer, choose somebody who has quality number one, can be a good critique, which means that critiques effectively, doesn't only just complains, but critiques effectively. Critiques effectively means the person not only identifies your problem, but also gives you possible solutions. A counselor who can show you the mirror, and a confidant. Coming to Dr. Meera's question is that what if my goal is beneficial to others, but those people don't reciprocate? Whenever you have that challenge, it is these people who have these three qualities who can help you, Dr. Meera. When you have such challenges, it is these people who will show you the mirror, where you're going wrong, why your goal is not inspiring enough to others. The reason why people don't reciprocate is because the goal that you have may not be inspiring to them. They don't know what's in it for me. There has to be a win-win. So you need to understand, one of the things you need to do in order to ensure that the person buys into your goal is you need to know how to communicate your goal and communicate the win-win. What's in it for him and what's in it for you. Jennifer said that her goal is to become a motivational speaker. So I said, yes. But the win-win is not there. What is it? It's a win for her. She wants to become a motivational speaker. What's in it for others? Why should they listen to Jennifer when there are thousands of motivational speakers across the world today? Why should they leave all those people and come and listen to Jennifer? So the question here is that we need these challenges will come in your way. There will be people whom you will want to help, but they will not like to take the help. So at that point in time, your key influencers are the people who will come to your rescue. The third quality of a key influencer is a confidant, with whom you can share your inadequacies, with whom you can share probably certain secrets which nobody knows, and that person will keep it confidential. The reason why you need to have a person with these qualities is this setup will ensure that it gives you a free mind to think. It gives you a mind free of any apprehensions. So when you identify your key influencers to help you and achieve your goal, the first thing is the qualities to be kept in mind. The first quality, the person should be a good critique. He should be a great counselor. In whatever language it could be. And you can ask me, should my counselor always be somebody who's learned? No, it could also be a personality counselor. It could be a relationship counselor. It could be one of your aunt. It could be anybody. It could be your professor. It could be your dean. It could be your principal. It could be your colleague. And then you need to also find somebody who, a quality of a person who's a confidant. Now you can ask me a very interesting question. DAZIL, it's very difficult to find somebody who's a critic, who's a counselor and confident. I completely agree to that. Yes, it's very difficult. That is the reason why you have to start looking at your relationships with a very, very different approach. Today, I don't want to digress, but what I'm saying is that today people get into relationships without knowing what they're getting into. We need to understand that when we get into relationships, there is always a give and take. It's just not always take or always give. So when you make those connects with people in society, when you make a friend, when you make a relationship as a friend, as a soulmate or anything, you need to clearly understand what is the purpose of this relationship that I'm getting into. And that is when you have that purpose clear, you'll find the person being a good critic and counselor and confidant. But a critic need not be a confidant. A critic, Dr. Meera, yes, a critic need not be a confidant. I somewhere resonate with you. I'm saying that a critic will criticize you when you do something wrong so that you feel the pinch. And the confidant is somebody who may not go and yap everything about you to outsiders, who might go and tell your inadequacies to somebody. So yes, maybe sometimes enemies are good critics. Absolutely, Wahab. Yeah, a known enemy is better than an unknown angel. It's yes, you can have competition. You can speak to your competition and find out what's there and what they feel about you. So yes, maybe you can't find a critic who's confident, but I think if you find the right person with you've made a good connect, maybe these qualities will fall in place. So trust is also a matter to be concerned about. Absolutely, trust is definitely a matter to be concerned about. So that's the reason why I say that you find those people with whom you have a good relationship, because relationships are built on trust. So you don't pick up somebody with whom you don't have trust. So trust is a defining factor. If you don't trust somebody, the person can't be a good critic, he can't be a counselor, he can't be confident. So case finished. You can not even consider the person. Look for somebody. So that is why these are not easy methods. You will have to really talk to people. Somebody says, no, I'm a reserved person. No, my dear friends, you can't say I'm reserved. You have to go there in the society hunt. You have to look for people who can be your critique, counselor, and confidant. Nobody is going to come, come to your door, knock on your door and say, here I am, who's a critique, counselor, and confidant. You will have to go and search for them because it is your goal, because it is something that you want to achieve, right? Let's move ahead. So, activity number 2, write down the names of 5 people who matter to you most in your life. It could include a personal and a professional relationship. Take about 2 minutes. Yes, Sumit Davi, you're right. Sometimes your best friend may be your critic. In my case, my best friend is my critic. And it's always great to have best friends who are critics. Because the word best friend is not about a friend who's always there only to come and party with you. A best friend is somebody who will always there to, highlight and show a red flag when something is not working. So write down the names of 5 people who matter to you the most in your life. It could include your personal as well as professional relationships. Take a couple of minutes. Disable the annotate option.
Sir, on the top of your left screen.
Yes, done. Thank you, Vimal.
Thank you, sir.
So write down the names of 5 people who matter the most in your life. Your first stage is done. You've redefined, you've cleansed your goal. Now you're identifying the key influences. Tamirasi, God, parents, friends, enemy, dogs. Okay, can you make it a little more specific? Tamirasi, parents, can you specify, is it your dad or your mom? And friends means specific, be specific. You don't have to tell it to me. Write it in your paper. Yes, Simi Varghese, mother, brother, guide, husband, son, fair enough. Please write, you don't have to put it in the chat window. Please write it in your piece of paper. Yes, Dr. Radhika, mom, husband, daughter, friends, absolutely, yes. It's your choice. Okay. So Dr. Raja has identified few people. Wonderful, Dr. Raja, and these are 5 people. Now, what is the next step I want you to do is I want you to, from the list of 5, choose only 2 or 3 people whom you think have all these 3 qualities. This is the difficult part. Archana Singhal raised a hand. Archana Singhal, you raised your hand. Yes. You can unmute yourself. Dr. Vimal can help you unmute yourself. So out of the 5 people whom you wrote the names, choose 2 or 3 people who have all the 3 qualities, who is a good critic, a good counselor, as well as a confidant. A confidant means a person to whom I can go and share certain very personal things about me, and that person will keep it confidential. Lekha, yes, Preet, you were saying something? So Sentam Larissa, my father, my wife, and Prem. Yes, of course, fair enough. So whoever it is, choose out of the list of 5 people. The reason why I said 5 first is because you might have some people with whom you think who can be your key influencers. But when you should have options to choose from. Don't limit your options. I would say don't limit your options now. Infant Roshan can't think of anyone doomed to be an eternal loner. Maybe, may not be. I think if you have somebody, if you can talk to somebody, take the help of your teacher or mentor and help you find, give you some directions, or you can take my help. I can probably help provoke you with certain questions that can, go ahead and find those people who can be your best critics, counselors. It definitely it will happen. So don't worry. We're doomed to succeed, not doomed to be loners. Good one. Yeah, Infant Roshan. Okay. Yes. So find these people, find people who have these 3 qualities, and finally, finalize your key influencers. Okay. Finalize the 3 people who will be your key influencers who got these qualities. I'm saying that you can have more than 3, but 3 is a minimum. 2 is okay, 3 is a minimum. You can have more than 3, but please ensure that you have these things. So when you have identify your key influencers, there are 2 things you need to do. You need to identify people who have qualities. Now, once you've identified these people, the next thing you need to do is that you need to know how to have a partnership with them, how they will partner in helping you achieve your goal. So what should you do in order to set up this partnership? Very quickly. First thing, you need to have regular conversation routines with these people. It can't be like, DAZIL has decided that his mother is going to be his key influencer, but his mother stays somewhere in Trichy, and he doesn't meet his mother, or he speaks to his mother only once a day. No, if I've decided that my mom is going to be my key influencer, I need to have at least 2 conversations to 3 conversations with her, possibly every day, if not at least every second day. So routines are important, my dear friends. We need to get into a routine. Okay, with the key influencer, with whoever you have chosen as your key influencer, you need to set up routines. You need to go talk to that person and say, hey, thank you for agreeing to be my key influencer. This is my goal. Thank you for helping me in supporting my goal. Excuse me. You go to that person and say, thank you for being a key influencer. I want your help. Let us set a routine. Can we talk regularly? So you set your calendar reminders. Okay, set reminders. Every week, at least twice, the beginning of the week and the end of the week, you will have an in-person, a text or telephonic conversation. Nowadays, you can have a Zoom conversation. You can see the person. Next is this person who's a key influencer. You need to seek this person's support to help you with resources whenever it's required. And you need to decide what resources you need from each of these people. Now, what are resources? What are examples of resources? Can anybody tell me? From the key influencer, what kind of resources can you expect? Time, Lavina, wonderful. You have to expect, that's a very important thing. When you set a routine, you have to ask for time. Lavina Rodriguez made a beautiful point. So time is very important. Support, be specific. Suggestions, exactly, Mercy, wonderful. Guidance, Sujata says guidance, wonderful. Yes, so you need to be very clear from whom, what do you want? Maybe my influencer 1 is good at giving moral support, as Sujata said, fine. My influencer 2 is good at giving guidance. My, influencer 3, as Angeline Anbarsi says, constructive criticism. So these are resources. Sometimes you want your key influencer also to, let me give you an example of another resource. You want your key influencer to connect you to influential people or to connect you to people who can give you knowledge and training. Sometimes your key influencer might not be the person who knows everything, but he might know somebody who can help you. When I had a health goal last year, I took the help of a friend who was a key influencer. He had a friend who was a fitness expert. So he referred me to him. So for me, he was a resource who helped me identify the right resource. Right? Yes, Brownie Amuta. Yes, of course, encouragement and motivation is there, but resources are a little more tangible stuff. Who can provide you with content, who can provide you with information, who can provide you with timely notification of opportunities, infant erosion, absolutely. Okay, so this will happen when you find the right influencer. And finally, when you partner with the influencer, you need to also agree on the reviews. Reviews means with all the influencers regularly, you need to have a review discussion on what is happening with your journey of the goal. Violet, yes, they may identify your potential. So the third thing you need to agree with the influencer is that, hey, the routine, we are going to talk once in 2 weeks, resources, once in 3 months, you should sit and have an appraisal. You should have an appraisal discussion with your influencer. And both of you should have a discussion on what is your progress. Your influencer should tick for you and saying that, chal, tick, ye ho gaya, second, this is done. Yes. And you need to have that appraisal, because this will bring accountability. It will bring accountability in you. Your influencer will be able to seek accountability. So you get that help from your influencer. Yeah, Dr. Prakash, positive thoughts, energetic thoughts, absolutely. So the second stage of achieving your goals is identifying influencers. The 3 qualities are there. And then what partnership means, what? These 3 things, right? Then comes the third and the final piece, which is nurturing key emotions. My dear friends, I must say, when I was researching what are the ways people, achieve their goals, I remember a story that Dr. Kalam used to tell us. He said, when the first space program failed, and I'm sure you'd have heard about this, when he came to St. Joseph's College a few years back, he spoke about this. When I met him in ISB a few years back, he spoke about this. He said that we need to understand that we need to harbor certain emotions according to the work and the kind of roles we are in. An army man needs to have a emotional deposit. He needs to have an emotional setup which will enable him to do his kind of a job well. Similarly, for anything that we set out to achieve, there are certain emotions which will support us. There are certain emotions which may be contra beneficial. We need to be careful. What are those emotions? How do we nurture them? So when we started asking people emotions are there for everybody. But then they said, no, whenever we went through achieving our goals, the best practices that we found and that I suggest to organizations and clients today is that we go and coach their employees on understanding that there are certain elements of our emotions which if you pour more water and let them grow, they will be of great value in your journey of achieving your goals. And I'm going to show you what they are. Okay. It's called emotional courage. It's called emotional courage. And there are few elements under emotional courage. If you want to increase the percentage and chances of achieving the goals you set for your life, be it a professional goal or a personal goal, you need to nurture in you emotional courage. Courage itself is an emotion. You need to have that feeling of safety within you. You need to have that feeling of knowing that you will not fail. You need to have that feeling within you which says that you can take risks. If dangers come, you will be saved. You need to talk, your emotions need to tell your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind needs to keep telling you that you are a person who can overcome any challenges. That's called emotional courage. So how do you build emotional courage? I would love to do an extensive program for you guys whenever you have time on how to build emotional courage. But today I'm going to give you a very specific part, which is showing you the components of emotional courage. If you need to build emotional courage in yourself, you need to build these 4 elements. First, you need to have moral courage. Can somebody tell me what is moral courage? Moral courage, morality. Yeah, I'm sure it rings a bell, right? So yes, moral courage is that courage of standing up to certain defined principles and ethical, absolutely ethical aspects. You don't want to be going about achieving your goals by violating principles and ethics. Dare to be honest, absolutely. Integrity, brilliant, Vidya, wonderful. You need to have disciplined courage. You need to say that, you know what, come what may, whether it's raining, thunder, lightning, if I have to spend 1 hour with a key influencer on Wednesday, every Wednesday, I will do it. Yes, JC, principle-based choices, that is moral courage. Yes, disciplined courage. Okay. So disciplined courage is about having the integrity to stick to your schedules and do whatever you have promised for yourself. Right? The other part is called intellectual courage. What is intellectual courage? What do you think? You're all professors and teachers. Can you tell me on top of your brain what comes to your mind when you say intellectual courage? Yes, Vidya, is having the ability to say yes, even you don't know. So DAZIL, when he has intellectual courage, he has to tell himself that, okay, DAZIL, agreed you have experience in whatever it is, but even you have certain gaps. Even you still have to learn, even you don't know certain things in life. We have to always have this intellectual courage to tell us that we have the opportunity to learn. The day I think that, I know everything, my learning stops. Thinking boldly, Vijaya, absolutely. Knowledge, continuous learning. Okay, and then the final part is empathetic courage. Courage to empathize. Courage to empathize with yourself and with your key influencers. Okay. If you want to understand more about what empathy is, Stephen Covey in his book very clearly shows you the difference between empathy, sympathy, and apathy. A lot of people think empathy is about putting yourself in the other person's shoes. That's a very industry definition. It is the wrong definition. Okay, we all know, I mean, as people who are mentoring students and, you know, young people, we know what empathy is. Empathy is about being able to, you know, reflect the state of mind of somebody, being able to understand what the other person is actually feeling and not just going through, understanding others' emotions and helping them. Absolutely. So you need to have, when you have these three things, you have emotional courage. You build emotional courage when you have moral courage, discipline courage, intellectual courage, and empathetic courage. So these are the key emotions that you need to nurture. And I will also say that let us nurture these emotions in our students, my dear friends. Let us nurture these emotions in our students. Okay, because when they go into organizations, these 4 aspects is very critical in their success. Because this is where you sow the seeds of integrity in them. If they have moral courage, discipline courage, intellectual courage, and empathetic courage, you will build people who are future ready. There are a lot of youngsters today who are coming out and having all the qualifications, but when they get into an organization, they're unable to handle pressure. When they're given a goal, they don't know where to start. You will not believe. I was having a conversation 3 days back with an ex-colleague of mine who worked with me earlier. He calls up and he is an alumni of the Indian Institute of Technology. And he says that they want our support to help fine-tune the capabilities of IIT graduates, because even IIT graduates today are finding it struggling to find jobs. And what gaps did they identify is that they have the subject knowledge expert, but when it comes to the ability to go about facing challenges and achieving goals, they are clueless. Just imagine. So it's going to be very difficult. Now you have the opportunity, my dear great professors and scholars, you have the great opportunity to encourage your students and make them future ready. And that is why, and that's one of the reasons why you have to, go back and remember this, this piece, which is the 3 pillars: cleansing and redefining, identifying key influencers, and nurturing key emotions. I've done with what I wanted you to understand. Now here is the model. There is a handout which you will get. There is this deck that you will receive. Please go and share this with your students as quickly as you can in the next best opportunity, and review whether they're following all these things. And trust me, even if you can ensure they get 60% success rate with this, when they come into the industry, they will be far better than their competition. So today imagine your students of all the colleges that you're representing are going to compete with the best of the best, the Jindals and the IITs and the BITS Pilanis. But today the gap between the students is just not about the skill gap, it is the behavior gap. And very important is how to go about achieving targets and achieving goals. That is where professionals today are finding it difficult when they get into organizations. So what should they do? The model is here. And of course, this model can be used for personal goals as well, which is there. But you are going to use this model to make your students future ready. I'll give you a few minutes for questions. And after that, I have a video to play for you. So Dr. Vimal can unmute if you want, or whoever raises the hand can unmute yourself. Dr. Vimal will unmute you, and then you can ask your question. Dr. Meera, yes, please, Dr. Meera. Dr. Vimal.
So you were talking about the courage. Am I audible?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, okay. So you were talking about the courage, and today I find a lot of students having the other kinds of courage, like your intellect courage, empathetic and all that, but then they lack this emotional courage. Sometimes they slack their goals because of their emotional struggle. They face a lot of problems in kinds of relationship or but then how to help them to overcome that? Do you have any suggestions, sir?
Yes, I have two suggestions, Dr. Meera. Number one, I would want you to go back to the model itself. I would want you to encourage your students also to find key influencers in their life, identify key influencers. Whenever I'm going through an emotional struggle, I don't sit in my desk and start solving my problem. I look for people with whom I have a connect. So I want you to influence your students and help them understand the importance of having identify key influencers. The other thing that I would also do if I were in your situation, and I don't know if I'm right, is that I will help them realize that emotional courage is not a singular item. It is a combination of moral courage, intellectual courage, discipline courage, and empathetic courage. And every time you make a decision that impacts your students, I would say, please demonstrate this to your students. Please demonstrate emotional courage, because students learn when teachers demonstrate. Let us all look at how we learn discipline in school or college. We didn't learn, our teachers never came and said, I remember Dr. Ravindran used to speak very strongly about, commitment and timeliness. And he used to demonstrate that. If the class starts at 12:15, he used to be in the class at 12:14. And if he promises that he will ensure that he will give us this concept, he will be committed to that and he will give us. So when we saw him demonstrating certain values, that taught us what it is to be. So two things that we can do is, one, you can go back to the model and encourage your students to identify key influences. The second, as people who are enabling, we should be role models. We should show them, because this thing about emotions and emotional courage is a very tricky term. And it's good that you brought that question out, Dr. Meera. But then again, the reason is today there's a lot of information. There's a lot of information on the net. There are a lot of people who are talking and writing about emotions. I'm sorry to say, but there are a lot of people who don't have emotional courage who are writing books on emotions. So we need to be very careful who our students are going to and what our students are writing. So you need to be, the best thing is you are the person who's in connection with them. You demonstrate it. You show them through your actions and your behavior. I'm sure it will work.
Right. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay. So there is another question. Let me just read that. Raja Shanmugam, I think is, from what I can understand, this model seems to be framed for those who have the freedom to set out own goals. How does this model work when the employees in a company are expected to work with goals that are set for them? So Dr. Raja, again, I would say that this model is a result of a research we have not only done with people in personal goals, but we have seen people, what they have done when it comes to the goals that have been set in organizations. So these are things which I have identified while working with my clients. So you can be rest assured the practices that I'm sharing here, and which are times that may not be appealing to the heart. Let me give you a clarification. I was working for the world's third largest food company, the world's third largest fast moving consumer goods food company. In 2007, my role was, leading HR for the India business. We had a very important element in our HR strategy, which is called employee engagement. And in employee engagement, we gave very specific objectives and targets for all the managers and leaders in terms of managing emotions of the employees. So today, there are organizations who are giving very, very lot of importance to these things which are like emotional balance and emotional courage. So these are practices which are prevalent, and today organizations are very, very sensitive about people's emotions. Okay, there might be certain organizations who are just only goal and number and business and money oriented, but let me tell you, I have worked in a handful of organizations where they have given a lot of respect and value to people's emotions. So it does it and what I'm sharing with you is something that we have not gone and just got it from textbooks. It's something that I have experienced with myself as a person who failed many times while achieving goals, learned, committed mistakes, and then through my journey as an HR head and as a consultant now. So yes, you have a point, but yes, there are organizations who do follow this. Okay, so may I request Dr. Vimal, would you be able to play the video for people that I shared, or should I do it from my end?
So could you please do it from your end? Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So just give me a moment while I get the video up. Okay. Sometimes when we play videos through these remote systems, we might have some lag. So please manage in case any issue happens. I'll try my level best. I'm going to play the video quickly. It's old age. Dr. Vimal, is my video visible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We are able to get the sound also.
Heavy wings, due to their thick feathers, stick to their chest of an eagle. This is a story of an eagle. An eagle has the longest lifespan of its species. It can live up to 70 years. But to reach this age, however, the eagle must make some tough decisions. In its 40th year, its long, flexible talons can no longer grab prey, which serve as food. long, sharp beak begins to bend. Its old, aged, and heavy wings, due to their thick feathers, stick to their chest and make it difficult to fly. Then the eagle is left with only two options: die or go through the painful process of change. The process requires that the eagle fly to the mountaintop and sit on its nest. There it knocks its beak against a rock until it plucks it out. Then the eagle will wait for a new beak to grow before it plucks out the talons. When the new talons grow back, the eagle starts plucking its thick, heavy feathers. And after this, the eagle takes its famous flight of rebirth and lives for another 30 years. Why is the change needed? To survive and live. We too have to start the change process. We also have to pluck our unpleasant memories, negative habits, and fixed mindset. Only freed from the past burdens can we take advantage of the present. Let's soar again.
Okay, so that was very interesting. I love that video. Okay, it says that, we need to always be open to change. The practices that people used to practice to achieve goals 5 years back of setting small targets and having one by one, those things don't work nowadays, my dear friends. We need to have very, very relevant and very more advanced ways of going about achieving our goals. What I've shared with you is that what's happening today in organizations, in industry. And I thought that will be something that will help each of you. So I want you to go and I want you to encourage your students to be those eagles to take the rebirth. Teach them that it is important to take a rebirth. And for that, they have to redefine and cleanse their goals, identify the key influencers, and nurture key emotions. Only then will they be able to redefine themselves. So that's my story. Thank you very much for being a great audience. Thank you for your questions. Thank you for your wonderful suggestions. Thank you for all the activity participation that you had. And let me also thank Dr. John Balea and Dr. Ravindran and the support faculty for ensuring that we had a beautiful session. Over to you, Dr. Balea.
It was a fantastic. It was a fantastic session, Mr. DAZIL. I would request two of the participants to share with us a couple of takeaways or learnings from today's sessions. I request two of the participants. You could volunteer quickly. We have a couple of minutes for that.
Yes, Ram Arvind is very
today in your evaluation and feedback sheets, you have given a lot of positives, lot of takeaways and learnings. I thought I would request two of you to share with us in the presence of the resource persons some of today's takeaways and learnings. Any two of you? Let me see. Yeah, two participants have immediately raised their hands. Dr. Vimal. Yes. Go ahead, participants.
Ram Arvind, maybe you can go ahead. And after that, Nancy Abraham. Or Ram Arvind, yes, Nancy, if you can go ahead. Yes, please.
Very good evening, sir. Very good evening, all the teachers, whoever is attending. Yeah, I have attended several motivational sessions, several sessions before, but then I always set my goal in such a way that I mean, like I never cleansed my goals before. So I always thought, okay, I could achieve. So it always procrastinates. So it never fallen in a stipulated time. Some of the goals are thinking about perfection. I never tried to attain even for years.
Okay.
So here I got that takeaway in such a way that I could redefine my goal. I could cleanse my goal, and I should make it a stipulated time. Time is one fact when it comes to goals. So it's a wonderful session, though I had a long day, but then I really appreciate for bringing Mr. DAZIL here. It's really wonderful session. Thank you so much. I inspired a lot with this session, and yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Nancy.
Yeah, yeah.
One more participant can share your takeaways.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah.
Sumit,
yes, I am audible, sir.
Yes.
Yes. Yes, sir. I am talking about my question. What is the better option to increase emotional character in our students?
Sir, say that again, please. What is the better option to?
What is the better option to increase emotional character or maybe emotional courage in our students?
I have two recommendations. Number one, please recommend them to read the book Emotional Intelligence by Daniel Goleman. And if you can get somebody to come and coach the faculty or the students on a 2-day program on emotional intelligence, a practical application of emotional intelligence will be good. But to begin with, please get them the book on emotional intelligence by Daniel Goleman. There are 5 domains of 5 practices. I do a lot of such programs for organizations and colleges. Feel free to take my help. But the first step is to get the book, put it in your library.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
Good evening.
Yes, Dr. Chandrakant. Yeah,
Myself, Dr. J. Chandrakant from Crystal JG College. I would like to give a few feedback about the session. Today, I came to know about a few points.
Okay.
Hello.
Yes. Go ahead, Doctor.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. So first thing I came to know about VUCA. That is the information I came to know about it.
Yeah.
And the 3 pillars. That is the second point I came to know about it. And the final one is the how to build the emotional courage. So in that I came to know about the 4 type of courage. So these are the things I came to know about from today's session. So thank you for the information which is shared by our resource person, Mr. Daniel BENNIS Fernandez. Thank you, and thank you for organizing such a wonderful session to us. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Maybe we have time for one more participant. Dr. Senthil Arasu.
Sir, good evening. This is Sendamil Arasu from JD Arts College, Pinnacle.
Yes.
And I have to thank the resource person because the concept to Vuca, even I have completed my soft skill training and got my certificate, and I am a certified soft skill trainer.
Wonderful.
Since I am not aware of the concept that you have mentioned here, that is very wonderful session, and I have to thank personally to Balaya sir for giving me a chance to participate in this, and I have to thank DAZIL, Dr. DAZIL for mentioning so many things which is very innovative. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Anybody else would like to share your observations?
Okay. Yeah. Dear participants, I have some announcements to make. Those who have not joined the Google Classroom, kindly join, because all the PPTs, materials, and recorded sessions will be posted in the Google Classroom. Yesterday's recorded session is posted in the Google Classroom. And today's recorded session will be posted in the Google Classroom, as well as the PPT and the materials. Mr. DAZIL has already sent the materials and the PPT to me. We will be posting it shortly. Secondly, kindly fill in the evaluation and feedback in Google Forms. Link is already sent to you. And thirdly, if you have any suggestions and clarifications with regard to the organization of the FTP, organizers will be available immediately after the session. We can have interactions online. Now I request all the participants to come on the screen for screenshots with the resource person. Dear participants, kindly come on the videos for screenshots with the resource person. Dr. Ravindran is already there. Have they come in?
DAZIL, thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. A nice presentation.
Thank you.
Dear participants, please appear on your cameras. Put up your cameras and come on the screens, please.
I think video is disabled. They need permission for that.
Video is disabled. Okay, yeah.
Yes.
Dear participants, kindly come on the videos, please. Okay, all right.
The first frame, kindly smile. Second frame. Please smile. Thank you. Third frame. Kindly smile. Thank you. Fourth frame. Fourth frame. Thank you.
Thank you, professors. Over to MC, Ms. Primrose.
Okay, once again, on behalf of Joseph's Academy of Soft Skills, I thank Mr. DAZIL BENNIS Fernandez wholeheartedly for creating such a beautiful interactive space and also illustrating us how goals can be redefined and can be made achievable for real with your well-organized presentation. Thank you very much, sir. And I also extend my sincere gratitude To you, dear participants, you've been patiently listening and actively interacting with the resource person. So thank you, one and all. And the resource person for tomorrow will be Dr. John Peter, who will speak on the topic Self-Awareness is the Bottom Line. So get set for another wonderful session tomorrow. Until then, have a good night. We may disperse for now and meet again tomorrow. Thank you all.
Okay. Dear participants, if you have any suggestions and clarifications with regard to the organization of FDP, we are available now. All the for technicians and myself, Dr. Ravindran, we are available. Yeah, we can have our discussions now if you have any clarifications and suggestions. George, you can also come on the videos. George, okay. Vimal. Someone asked for the Google Classroom, link and code. Last night we sent the link and code to all the participants. Kindly open your email and see all the links are given in last night's email. Some of you asked me to correct your names. It's corrected, and the list of participants was posted to you yesterday. If there are any more corrections, kindly let us know. We will do the needful. Looks like everything is fine. So thank you so much. Good night to all of you. And the link for filling the evaluation feedback will open for another 15 minutes. Who wants to speak? Yeah. Benari. Okay. Who is that?
Sir, you can unmute and speak, sir.
Yeah. Throughout the session, my audio was muted. I couldn't unmute it. Even now, after the session is over, I could not unmute it.
Sir, you are audible.
You are audible, sir. You are audible.
Yeah, but earlier I could not unmute it even when I wanted.
Oh.
So from tomorrow at least, I should be able to unmute my audio.
We will definitely do that, sir. If you could use the raise hand option, we will unmute, sir. If everyone, unmutes themselves, then it will be clumsy. That's why we are unmuting people. So if you could use the option, unmute or raise hand option, we will unmute you, sir. Certainly,
Okay.
We'll certainly help you, sir. Otherwise, put a message in the chat, sir. We will certainly come into your assistance.
All right.
Yeah, sorry.
Understood.
Today,
No problem.
we couldn't help you. We'll do it certainly tomorrow, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks.
Sorry.
And participants, if you want to speak, you can unmute and speak to us. Regarding Google Classroom. Yes, Professor, the link is sent to all of you.
Sir, yesterday I attended full session, sir, but I could not fill the feedback form. What to do, sir?
Sir, if you could send us the detail in the chat, we will consider your attendance, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Sir, there is a query by Dr. Nancy asking for the invitation for Google Classroom. Sir, actually the code and the link for the Google Classroom has been sent to your mail ID which you have registered. So kindly just search for a mail from Jazz. It will have the link of Google Classroom. If you still have some difficulty, we will enable the chat, sir, maybe for some time. You can just give us your problem so that we will be able to solve from the technical end. Thank you. We will also share the code once again in the WhatsApp group as well. Thank you.
Dr. Ravindra?
Yes, sir.
Yes, it was very interactive.
Oh, okay.
The session was very, very interactive. So thank you for introducing Mr. DAZIL.